Hi, Dr. Emron here, best-selling author of Fast Track Your Health, the 4 Keys to Successful Weight Loss and Silence Your Fat Gene. And I am an expert in helping people discover what their best way to lose weight and maintain their health is. And one of the things I want to ask you, have you ever noticed that some people will go on a diet or they'll pick up a habit and they'll get great results for a while and then they'll stop getting results? Or one person will do that and they'll get great results, and the other person, you might have experienced this, you try that same thing or you eat that healthy food and you don't see any benefits from it. You don't get better, you don't lose any weight, you're not improving. Okay, so what's going on? Now, you might be thinking, well, wait a minute, if somebody's eating healthy and exercising, that's all they gotta do in order to lose weight, right? The whole idea of calories in, calories out. Well, that's not always the case. There are some people who do everything right. They eat healthy, they exercise, they drink their water, and they still don't lose weight. Yeah, I understand. But it does really happen, okay? So it's not as simple as that. Some people have that problem. And I've seen this over and over again with my friends and with my patients, where they've been doing everything right. They've been eating healthy, they've been exercising, and things aren't working, all right? So this is a struggle that a lot of people deal with. And I've been trying to help people find an answer to that struggle. And as I've been searching for some of the answers, something came up that really revealed what's going on. There's a lot of research on this coming out now, and one of those secret things that was discovered is that it's not just you and your biology, but also the bacteria in your gut. Everybody's gut bacteria is different and reacts differently to different situations, whether it's diet or exercise. So it's important for us to begin to think about that when we're trying to find solutions to the problem. So when we talk about this, we have to realize that, like I said, it's not as simple as just diet and exercise. Sometimes we have to go a little bit farther to find out what's going on when things aren't working the way you expect them to. All right, so when we talk about this gut bacteria, how do we fix this? If the gut bacteria is responsible for us not losing weight, how do we know what's going on and how do we make it better? Well, there are 3 strategies to doing that. Number 1, you can actually do a test. You guys have probably heard about 23andMe to do a genetic test, but there's also companies that are doing bacterial tests on your gut bacteria to tell you what's there and actually give you recommendations about what types of foods might be better for you. Okay, so when we talk about things like the glycemic index, how high does your blood sugar go with certain foods, that's actually affected by your gut bacteria. So knowing what's there and what foods might be better for you might help. Now, this is going to cost some money, but if you've been doing everything else and you've been struggling and you've been paying for a gym and you've been paying for healthy food and you're not seeing the results that you want, isn't it worth it to maybe make an investment in something like this? Probably. All right, so that's the first strategy. The second strategy is maybe we should be putting back some of those healthy bacteria. How do we do that? Well, there's a couple different ways to do that. Number 1, we could be taking a probiotic. That's a healthy form of bacteria. Again, if you've been struggling and you're going to put something into your body, you want to make sure that it's quality. Don't go for the cheapest thing, okay? Don't go for the thing with the colorful box. Go for something that's really high quality, okay? Something with science behind it that's proven, so that you get the highest chance of getting the result that you want, all right? Or you could take a prebiotic. Okay, so a prebiotic would be a food or a fiber that would help to promote your own good bacteria to grow and help you get the goals that you want. All right, so probiotic or prebiotic. Those are the things that you can do to start getting the healthy bacteria in your gut on a regular basis. Now, there are some other strategies you can do to try to improve your health without changing your gut bacteria, but it's really challenging. Now, this reminds me actually of a story. This was actually a very famous research study that was done. They had a lady who had a serious infection. You guys may have heard of the Clostridium difficile, where this bacteria was resistant to every antibiotic, and they couldn't treat it. And the only way to treat it was to put in enough healthy bacteria into the gut, and so they found a healthy member of her family to give her essentially a poop transplant. Yeah, you heard it right, a poop transplant. They put poop into her colon from somebody else. Well, it helped to take care of the infection right away. She recovered completely from this life-threatening infection. The interesting thing was, she was a marathon runner and was always very slim. The person they took the poop from was actually about 25 pounds overweight, even though she was fairly healthy. And even though they treated the infection, suddenly she gained those 25 pounds herself and was never able to lose them, even though she was eating healthy and exercising the same way she was all along. All right, so it shows you how important that gut bacteria actually is and how big an impact. I mean, in this lady who was a marathon runner and ate very, very healthy, 25 pounds was pretty significant weight gain for her. Okay, so it can have a huge impact. Now, when you do this, there are some common mistakes that people make, okay, and I want to warn you about these. Number one, they try to take, they figure if a little is good, a lot is better, okay, so they try to take more than they should, okay. Now, that's not always a great thing when we're talking about bacteria, because you can start getting indigestion, you can start getting some intestinal problems, you can potentially get diarrhea, and so forth. And they figure if one method is good, then two methods are even better. So I'm going to take a prebiotic and a probiotic. Probably not a good idea to give bacteria a lot of food when it's still in your stomach, okay? Because we don't want the bacteria to grow in your stomach, we want it to grow in the colon. So doing one or the other is probably a good idea, but not the two together, all right? And a lot of people are surprised by some of the results they get. Sometimes their bowel habits change, they get loose stools, they get maybe more gas. Don't freak out, okay? Most of these things will regulate themselves after your body gets used to it over time, all right? So those are some of the things that you kind of have to watch out for when we start talking about this. But if you want more information about this, check out my books. Check out silenceyourfatgene.com and you'll find my books. You can get them for free. Just pay the shipping and we'll get it to you, and you can find out more information about some of these topics in a little bit more depth. Hope that helps, and we'll see you at the next video.